Yeah, sorry about that. We forgot to turn off the music. Thank you for pointing that out, guys. Going into turn 0 right now with the leads, Clefairy and Salamence leads for Daniel. Alberto going to go ahead and go Sylveon and Salamence of his own for to try to combat against Clefairy and Salamence.
Yeah, but you know what? Clefairy doesn't do you any good against Sylveon. That Salamence is in dire straits already. Can't afford to stay on the field unless it thinks it can one-shot that Sylveon, which is unlikely after the Intimidate from the other Salamence.
So we do see Salamence switch out right here. Not going to want to stay in. Wants to switch out into his Landorus Therian. Going to get another Intimidate off on that Salamence. So that's a pretty good play.
Yeah, make that Salamence, but it's going to, of course, leave the field. It can't afford to stay.
We see Salamence go ahead switch out into Heatran. Not exactly the thing you want to see switch into a Lander switch.
No.
But it is a smart play, though, because Sylveon's going to go for the Hyper Voice. Heatran's going to quadruple resist.
But Icy Wind's exactly...
but Landorus avoids it.
No.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that was the perfect play there. I mean, it was great against Salamence, too. I don't know that it was really a prediction that this Landorus was coming in, but it was exactly what you would want to see hit that Landorus.
Right, Icy Wind's probably one of my favorite moves in the game. I mean, ice typing, hitting spread, and lowering speed.
Yeah,
that's great. Unless you accidentally do that into Defiant Pokemon. Yeah, that would be
or you miss
because
of that 95% accuracy.
I've done that before. Right now, Landorus doesn't mind his position, I assume. Heatran going to want to try to take it out.
Yeah, Heatran's staying in, getting Helping Hand. And Rock-Slide, so no Earthquake.
And Heatran's going to go ahead and avoid the attack, though. So now it's going to get to go for a Helping Hand boosted Overheat, as Landorus avoids it as well.
Dodges.
Sylveon going to go straight for the Hyper Voice right here, going to target down the Clefairy. Is going to be able to pick up the knockout. It is going to be able to pick up the knockout, so unfortunate miss right there. That would have been a clean KO on that Landorus Therian.
Yeah, and I think Alberto was unable to Earthquake there because he wanted to leave Sylveon in to get a Hyper Voice off. But now with Tyranitar coming in, I think he'll prioritize definitely getting an Earthquake off this time. These misses are really been huge for Alberto. That Landorus being slower would have been much easier. Landorus being knocked out would have been a lot easier. We'll see if Daniel can still climb back from that.
I believe his Lando is actually scarfed. So he... Yeah.
So that's a lot of times the issue with choice Landorus is when you want to Earthquake, you can't because you have something next to you, or you've already locked into something else. And then Landorus leaves the field despite being in an incredible position. That's why I prefer the non-choice Landorus, but of course the choice one has plenty of advantages too.
And we do see the Heatran go for the Heat Wave as Landorus is going to make its exit, going to go into Conkeldurr, going to do a good amount of damage to Conkeldurr and Sylveon. Tyranitar going to go ahead and go for the Rock Slide. Conkeldurr dodges it. Probably doesn't mind that too much. I mean, it wasn't going to do too much damage anyways, as the Tyranitar Rock Slide going to put Sylveon to a sliver of health remaining, as the Hyper Voice doesn't do that much damage to Tyranitar.
Yeah, and we revealed the Light Forb on Heatran, kind of the third of the big items. You see the leftovers for Substitute, the Shuka for the Mirror and the other Landorses. The Light Forb actually do a lot more damage, makes that Helping Hand Overheat really scary, but there it doesn't quite work out when we misses the Overheat, but getting the extra damage on Sylveon and Conkeldurr, the extra Life Orb damage is why Sylveon's in Sand KO range right now.
Yeah, and Conkeldurr coming in is actually really good for Alberto right now. It's going to threaten that Heatran, it's going to threaten that Tyranitar for sure.
Right, he's got to try to guess which one the Mach Punch is coming on. It definitely is a knockout on Tyranitar. It might be a knockout on the Heatran, depending on how the Heatran is trained.
And also, I guess, how the Conkeldurr is trained, too.
True.
A lot of players don't
normally
like
we kind of
that.
assume just complete offense from Conkeldurr, but it could be more bulky.
Oh, that's actually a good switch right there to switch the Tyranitar out, possibly take the Mach Punch on that side. But the important thing is the Intimidate on the Conkeldurr.
Right, so now the Mach Punch shouldn't get a knockout in either slot. Obviously, it can't knock out Salamence, does minimal damage, and can't knock out, probably wouldn't have knocked out after the Intimidate on Heatran. And safe to switch in Salamence into the Sylveon, knowing that he would get the Heat Wave knockout unless he got another one of those misses he's been getting so far.
Yeah, and we see the Sandstorm hit both Conkeldurr and the Landorus, or not the Landorus, the Salamence too. So
no safety goggles Conkeldurr this game.
No safety goggles Conkeldurr this time. Salamence going to come in, going to go ahead and intimidate Daniel's own Salamence. Not so much a problem for the Heatran. And I think right now you can still take a Mach Punch.
Yeah, but probably take a Mach Punch, can't take a Mach Punch plus something from that other Salamence. And so if he wants to double tap it and get the knockout on Heatran, he can. Meanwhile, that Salamence is at -1, could also take an Ice Punch or something. and I think Daniel actually is in a decent position here, but he has to be careful. He could quickly lose a Pokemon if something goes wrong.
And we do see Mega Salamence making an appearance on Daniel's side, and both Salamence are going to go ahead and activate their Mega Stones and Mega Evolve. I guess they see no benefit in trying to switch out, play some sort of revolving door game anymore.
Let's do some damage.
Yeah, Conkeldurr going to go for the Mach Punch, going to target down the Heat Ran. How much damage is it going to do?
Not
too
nearly
much
enough.
damage. Salamence from Daniel's side going to go ahead and get up a free Dragon Dance. Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say free just yet.
Yeah, no, not until we see whether or not that other Salamence Draco Meteors.
And
Both
most
Salamence.
Salamances are content with just going for Dragon Dances.
So far, Daniel's Salamence was faster. We don't know if that'll carry on to the next round, if that was actually just a speed tie, but being faster would be a huge advantage to these Salamences boost next to each other.
Heat Ran going to go for a Heat Wave, going to pick up a knockout on Conkeldurr, going to do some chip damage to that Salamence. Is it going to burn Salamence? I don't think it's going to burn.
Now, Alberto has the big advantage of getting to bring in Landorus here. Scarfed will get the Intimidate on Salamence. Will not speed the Salamence anymore. It will still threaten the KO on that Heatran and take this other Salamence back to neutral attack.
Right. And right now, Landorus is free to go for the Earthquakes. I mean, he's seen Heatran in back. He sees Heatran, obviously.
Yeah.
He also sees Tyranitar in back, too. So, if he wants to lock himself in a move, it has to be the Earthquake.
Right, and now Earthquakes, you don't have to worry about hitting your partner anymore either. Salamence is going to be Landorus' partner for the rest of this game. The one risk you take by doing that is if this Daniel Salamence outspeeds and KOs the other Salamence, will never be able to KO it with Landorus. But that's not happening.
And Salamence from Alberto's side going to go ahead and pick up the...
So it was a speed tie last turn. We saw that Daniel's move first, but this time Alberto's moves first and gets the KO on Salamence, which is huge in this game.
And Landorus, again, content to just go for the Rock Slide. That's going to be enough to pick up the KO. That was kind of a close calculation, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Being focused helps a lot. Now it just has a Tyranitar to knock out. Should have a chance to get a Double Edge or an Earthquake off on it with Salamence, and then a Rock Slide with his Landorus before it moves, which should be enough to knock it out.
Yeah, unfortunately for Daniel, it's just one of those situations where he lost the speed tie.
Yeah, that's what it kind of came down to. Daniel, he lost the speed tie, took some misses. He's probably going to be very frustrated with this game, as he likely will miss Hawk Cup.
Right, Salamence does go for the Earthquake, going to be able to pick up the knockout on Tyranitar, and Alberto going to move on to 7-1, as Daniel's going to drop to 6-2. Daniel did beat